Namaskar, Sadhguru. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be with you here today and in conversation with you. I think it's such a wonderful opportunity to hear you and listen to you and have this kind of chance to share some of your insights with a larger audience. So thank you so much for your time. Sadhguru, all of us in the world are seeking something. And this is kind of one ephemeral seeking. Is it success? Is it money? Is it fame? Is it wealth? Is it happiness? What is happiness? Can you throw some light or guide us on this journey?
See, on the surface, it doesn't matter what one may think they are seeking. Somebody may be after money, somebody after wealth, somebody after knowledge, somebody after pleasure, somebody after love, or somebody may be running after God. It doesn't matter what you seem to be running after. But if you're willing to carefully knock yourself down to the basics and look at yourself, all you want is expansion. Whatever you're today is not good enough, you want to be something more. If that something more happens, you want something more. If you look at this right now, sitting here, you clearly know no amount of expansion is going to fulfill you. There is a longing to expand limitlessly. So this may find expression in so many different ways. This may find expression either in terms of career or business, conquest or plain shopping. All these things are just people wanting to be something more than what they are right now. You want to include something which is not you right now as a part of yourself. This is finding expression in four fundamental ways. If it finds basic physical expression, this is called as sexuality. You're trying to include something which is not a part of you as a part of yourself. If it finds an emotional expression, this is called as love. If it finds a mental or a psychological expression, it gets labeled as greed or ambition or whatever else like that. If it finds a life expression, an energy expression, then we call this yoga. All of it is…
Yoga?
Yes.
Spirituality. Yoga.
Yoga means union. Okay. Union means what is limited and what is considered limitless became one. Or in other words, you became limitless.
The body and the…
You became limitless, or the fulfillment of your fundamental longing has happened. Everybody is seeking the same thing. It is just through different means. Somebody goes to the marketplace, somebody meditates, somebody goes to the temple, somebody goes to the library, somebody goes somewhere else. It doesn't matter. Whether one goes to the bar or temple or wants to go to heaven, they're essentially seeking the same thing. They want… one thing is they want pleasantness. If pleasantness is achieved, then they want expansion. When I say pleasantness, if you become pleasant in your body, generally we call this health. If you become very pleasant, we call this pleasure. If you become pleasant in your mind, this is generally referred to as peace. If you become very pleasant, we call this joy. If you become pleasant in your emotions, we call this love. If you become very pleasant, it's called compassion. If you become pleasant in your very life energies, this is called blissfulness. If you become very pleasant, it's called ecstasy. If your surroundings become pleasant, it's called success. So right now, to make the surroundings pleasant is a challenge because you need the cooperation of many forces. Whether you have the competence and the skills to garner that cooperation from various forces around you is always a challenge, and it's different from person to person. How much pleasantness can you spread around you is a challenging process. But to be pleasant within yourself, it should be possible, but unfortunately for most human beings it's not yet, simply because they have never understood the mechanics of how the human mechanism functions. It's never been looked at. This is something, especially those who want to become leaders in the world, those who want to hold responsible positions in the world, First thing is, they must take charge of this, that they are pleasant within themselves. If you are not joyful by your own nature, you will try to squeeze joy from people around you or things around you. In our pursuit of happiness, we are ripping the world apart, the planet apart, isn't it?
Absolutely, and that's… Now, Sadhguru, I mean, so many dimensions that I wanted to, ask more just based on, this first answer, because each one has so much depth. But the first one, very quickly, is I think over the years, people's thought of yoga has been X, which is kind of an extension of exercise. So can you, just expand a bit about yoga, and then I'd like to come back to success and the range of pleasantness.
The word yoga today, in most people's minds, particularly in the Western world, conjures up all kinds of impossible physical postures. Physical postures are just a minute aspect of yoga. Because the West has taken up the physical dimension or the asanas or yogasanas as yoga, the same thing is rebounding here, unfortunately. The word yoga means union. Why is union needed? What is union between what and what? See, life is happening to you right now. You're alive right now.
Right.
I know you're in the medical profession. You're alive right now not because of anything else, but because the whole cosmos is cooperating with you and transacting with you. It may not be within the realm of modern medicine yet to address these things, but at least we know this much. So what you call as myself right now is also a piece of this planet, isn't it? Yes or no? This body is a piece of planet.
Right.
If we understand right now, experientially if we know this, we would treat the planet differently, we would experience the planet differently. If you experience that you are a part of this, we call this yoga.
I think there's a connection between how you're feeling, physically, mentally, emotionally, and what you're able to achieve in the world and what you give back to the world. So how is that connection, and how do people find that inner strength to do what they want to do?
Let me correct the one part of the question about giving back to the world.
Okay.
We don't have anything to give to the world. We can only take from it.
Oh, we're always taking, but can't we give as well?
If you take less, it is there.
So eat less, tread softly.
No, you eat just what is enough.
Okay, I understand that track.
So what I'm saying is, people want to take excessively and then give back little. So we have to be
mindful of…
Because they're feeling guilty about what they have taken. It is not necessary. You can structure your life in such a way that you take only what's needed, rest of it you make it happen the way it's needed for everybody else around you. And you will still be very successful, and you will be loved for your success, not hated for your success, and life will be beautiful. So I'm not talking about meagerness, austerity, or you becoming an ascetic, no. I'm saying, why this extra work of taking and giving back, I'm asking. It is not efficient. Let's take what is needed for us, the rest of it must happen the way it needs to happen, isn't it?
I guess we need to unlearn some things, like what do you mean by taking only what you need? Say maybe we need only 10 sets of clothes, why do we have cupboards full? Is it material, is it something else?
A lot of people may be planning for 3 lifetimes, you don't know. I'm saying how much you want is not something that I should decide, you should decide. What makes sense to you?
So just be comfortable with that.
No. I'm not saying you must be comfortable with 10 pairs of clothes.
No, that you find your level.
You need 10,000, you have 10,000. But are you getting into this business of 1,000 or 10,000 compulsively, or is it your conscious decision that this is how much I need? If you just learn to handle everything consciously, you will not do anything more than what's needed. And what I need and what you need may be different, and it's perfectly fine. It's not for somebody else to decide how much you need.
And then you get more mindful about what you're doing.
The problem right now is Most people are too mindful. That's why all this problem.
What do you mean? Because I meant…
Their minds are full.
Okay, no, I didn't mean that one. I didn't mean that.
Even being mindful will make you alert. Mindful will make you survive better in the world. It will not help you to evolve yourself. Just do one thing. Every day at least do 5 minutes of something with total abandon. Abandon means mindless.
Sing, dance, whatever.
Whatever. I'm saying work mindlessly. I live mindlessly. I don't have a single thought on my mind. I just do what I have to do. So I'm not mindful about anything. I'm just totally mindless. And it works wonderfully well. If you're mindful, you may do things right, but you will be miserable in the end, believe me. Try and see. Try to do every aspect of your life, especially your personal life, mindfully. You will not know after some time why the hell am I doing this, because it will not be worthwhile. You do something with total abandon, it doesn't matter how small an act it is, it's still worthwhile.
I think there is an understanding that we need to make some change, but there's also, a certain degree of, in the process of making that change, that appreciation.
No,
so what is it?
I'm not saying you must change. All I'm saying is, you must…
Yeah, actually I'm pretty happy, Sadhguru. I don't feel the need to change.
You must become a full-fledged…
I feel quite pleasant.
Every human being should become a full-fledged life.
Okay.
Right now, they have curtailed themselves in so many ways because they're being mindful.
Of the boundaries that society taught us over a period of time.
Mindfulness means what? Being careful, being cautious, being watchful about everything. You being a school teacher to yourself.
Yes, that's so true.
We got out of the school, we must get rid of the school teachers too. If a school teacher lives with you for the rest of your life, school teacher will transform themselves into your mother-in-law kind of status, You're trying to create an inner situation where you're penned in by your own attitude. If you are in a state of abandon, then being joyful and ecstatic is natural. There is substantial medical evidence today that only when you're feeling very pleasant within yourself, your body and your brain will work very well.
Right.
If you want to do your work, your body and brain should function well, isn't it? Where is the question for that? If people are miserable, stressed out for every little thing, they're not doing anything great, they're just earning a living. For that they're stressed out. So now they want to vent it on the world. All this is happening because you're trying to go through life without paying attention to the human mechanism. And there's only one human mechanism to which you have access experientially, that is this.
The body.
You don't have access to anybody else.
Right.
You don't have any way of experiencing anything outside of yourself. You all experience pain and pleasure, joy and misery happens within you. If you don't find access to it, then you take bits and pieces from everywhere and try to build a life of it. It's always a confusion. It's always by accident. When life happens by accident, there will be lots of things.
Confusion.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, especially if you want to take a leadership position in the world, in any situation, whether it's home situation or business or country or whatever, the most important thing is, within yourself, you have taken charge of things.
People are looking for this connection between what they do, who they are, and how their health, connects that. Because very few understand that you need to have this perfect health to achieve, what you want to. And that there is a deep connection between what your mind is saying and what your body is capable of doing and the rest of the other dimensions. So, will you share some of those, Sadhguru?
No, whether you're in healthcare business or otherwise, health is still important.
Absolutely.
Let's look at it this way. What health means is, it's like this. Let's say you have a vehicle. How much servicing time is needed for this vehicle? Suppose you own a car and it needs to be serviced 15 days in a month. This is a nuisance of a car.
Correct.
If it needs 1 day service in 30 days, all right. If it needs 15 days service, then it's better to take the public transport, isn't it? So similarly right now, people have made their bodies like this. They need to sleep 10 hours a day. Even doctors are telling them anything less than 8 hours you'll have a heart attack, because their own bodies are like that probably. 10 hours a day you must sleep. Definitely another 2-3 hours you spend in eating, bath, toilet, whatever. So 50% of your life is just gone, straight. So if you're planning to do something important, something that matters to everybody around you, if you are sleeping away or 50% of your life is gone in this, and every few hours you need a break, after every meeting you need to freak by either drinking coffee or Coca-Cola or something else, then what you can do is very limited. To see now to give an analogy, if you just want to reach your office somehow, you buy a Maruti 800, it'll take you quite well. Or you get into an auto rickshaw, it takes you quite well. But now you want to be on the fast lane. You want to be on the F1 track.
Yeah. Oh, you went to F1, Sadhguru. I didn't.
You want to be on the F1 track. You try to go with your Maruti, it's going to fall apart.
Correct.
So if you want to be in leadership position, what it means is, you want to juggle lot more balls than anybody else does.
Correct. That is very true.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you want to do that kind of juggling in your life, you better have that kind of competence in your body and your brain. You better earn that, you better build that into your system.
Yeah, develop it. Yeah.
If you do not do that, and you just go into this, you're going to crack up somewhere. You're going to fall apart. As you fall apart, the situation around you falls apart in many ways. And it'll affect everybody around you.
But there's so many successful leaders, Sadhguru, who are not so, they don't seem either evolved or healthy or anything.
See, there is…
Or it's a transient period.
No. There is a bandwidth for everything.
Correct.
Individual people have a certain bandwidth of their own. Whether you're performing at the peak of your bandwidth or at the bottom of your bandwidth is a question.
Perfect.
So, you may be a little better than somebody else,
so
but
can sustain,
are you full-fledged is the question. That's why in the very beginning I said, the important thing is, are you a full-fledged life?
Yeah.
Are you at your optimal level? You're a little better than somebody, doesn't mean anything. Somebody around you doesn't have legs and you walk faster than him and you think you're great. This is unnecessary. You never compare yourself to somebody else.
Correct.
You just see, are you performing at your potential, full potential or not? If you don't, if you do not do what you cannot do, that's not a problem. If you do not do what you can do, you're a disastrous life. So if you want to be able to do everything that you're capable of doing in your life, it's very important what you eat, how you sit, how you stand, how you breathe. If you are conscious of all these things,
you'll evolve and
slowly you have a situation in your body, energy-wise, how much servicing it needs, all these things are there. So your ability to function becomes effortless. More effortless it is, the more you're willing to take on. The more stressful it is for your body and your mind, the less you will take on, isn't it?
We could stay and, be enthralled in your company for hours and hours, but I know you have so many more things to do. So I want to end with just one last question, and that is, what is your dream for India? What's your dream for the world?
A whole lot of India has lost the ability to dream for themselves. Their dreams, or what America dreams, is India's dreams. I want this to change.
Correct.
I want India to have its own dream. Indian people to dream of what is their well-being, not dream what somebody else has dreamed. Their dream, it worked, and it's a disaster. And in this country, in this culture, we had evolved a dream that will work for everybody. Today I hear this word being repeated everywhere, even in the government circles at the highest level, about Vasudeva Kutumbakam.
Yes.
We are losing that dream, and we are trying to pick up a dream from somebody else which will work only for a limited number of people. So it's time we evolve a dream. We know what is a dream.
Which is not GDP based and material based.
Yes, which must be universal in nature, which works universally for everyone. If all of us, our dreams fulfilled, still the planet is happy the way we are living, that is a good dream.
I think you gave us, so much vision, so much insight, so much more longing, but to do something, in a very different dimension. And on behalf of everyone who has the good luck and the good fortune to hear this, thank you, Sadhguru. We're very, very blessed to have you in our presence. Thank you.